Hey guys! In today's video, I'll be going through my webtoon making process, and I'll be using chapter 6 of my latest webtoon, where Lilies Bloom, to demonstrate. So if you haven't read it yet, you might want to do so first. So I start off by doing chapter planning in a plain Word document. Sometimes I plan a few chapters at a go. I like to use a table to plan so I can write the visual and the dialogue of each panel. This is also good to gauge how long a chapter will be and where is a good place to end off the chapter without it being too short or too long, for example. Then, depending on what I plan to draw in each panel, I might need a background. Okay, so for example, in panel 1, I have the shot of the classroom with empty seats. So actually, I have several 3D models of the locations. For example, this is the classroom. It's time consuming to make, though I kind of simplify it so it's not very detailed, but I can keep reusing it by placing the camera in different angles and stuff, so it's good. It's like a good investment. I use a program called Autodesk Maya, and I model everything myself from scratch because I know how to. I've learned this before. I know a lot of creators use SketchUp instead. I think they have a library to download things maybe, but I'm not very sure. I like to make it on my own, so I don't have any usage issues or copyright issues since it's mine. So I just kind of angle the camera to what I want as the background in the panel. Then I render using this default Maya vector with the edges and fill switch on. So it will come out nicely like a 2D vector image. So I can just save it and put it into the drawing later. Now onto the actual drawing part. I start with a long canvas because webtoons is in a scroll format, as y'all know. The size doesn't really matter because you can change it later on. I'll show you how. So I just use the rectangle shape tool for the panels. With the fill is set to none and the stroke is like just black. And I drag in the background images if necessary, and then I use the elliptical shape tool for the speech bubbles, and I just enter the text. Later on, when I'm done with the whole thing, I rasterize the shapes so that I can, for the speech bubbles, I can draw the tail or whatever you call it, the end of the speech bubble that points to the person, and that I can fill the speech bubbles with a like a white background. And basically I do the layout right from the beginning so I can plan how to space out the panels from each other and where to place the panels in the bubbles. Like for example, if I put one panel on the right side, then the next panel I don't want it to be on the right side again, for example. I also do the sketching along the way. I prefer just a rough sketch so it doesn't take too much time. After that, I make everything nice and neat by doing the line art in the new layer over the sketch layer that I set to a lower opacity. Yeah, there isn't too much to say. So here I have my completed line art. Next is the filling of the base color. The Photoshop selection tool on the bucket tool isn't really great for filling the colors cleanly. There's always still a white space between the line art part. What I like to do is make sure the speech bubbles are hidden and the background's not really necessary to hide, but the speech bubbles. Then I take the magic wand tool and I select the rectangle panels that I've already rasterized. And after I select all the panels, I fill it in the new base color layer with a base color. And my base color is actually the skin tone, but for now I use a darker color so that I can see if it's cleanly filled and stuff. Now I take my wand again, but this time I check the sample all layers option at the top, so it kind of will combine. I mean, it will not actually combine, but it will see like the rectangle boxes and the line art as like a continuous line, so you can select these portions outside of the character, and on the base color layer you can press delete to clear it away, and then you will get a pretty clean base color for the character. Probably some of the small corners you have to clean it up a bit yourself, but it does overall a pretty good job. And after I make sure it's all clean, I change the color to my actual base skin color by just creating a clipping mask and filling it with my base color and merging it down again. Then I create new layers for each color and I create a clipping mask to the base layer, so I don't have to worry about the color running off the edges of the character, and I just have to, make sure the parts within the character is clean, like say the edges or the hair touches the face or whatever. But we still kind of have to individually paint the colors in. I have a color palette saved, which is a good idea if you're doing like a webtoon, because make sure that you always have the right colors for the characters to just color pick from easily. So yeah, make sure you don't get the wrong colors. My shading is quite simple. First, I lock the opacity of the layer, this little checker box icon, and I just take the shading color that I've also already saved in my color palette, and with the hard brush I paint where the shadows will be. Since it's a hard brush, you have to do it pretty cleanly. Then I take the soft brush, and with the same color I go over the shadow parts gently so the hard shadows don't look too harsh. And yeah, I just do that for all color layers. Once you're done with all your shading, one small extra step I like to do is to color the line art around light areas like the skin, because the dark brown, almost black line art looks a little harsh on the skin, so I like to use dark red or orange to go over the line art at those areas. Once all that is done, I select my color and line art layers. You right click and you hover over the merge layers button, but you hold the out button while you click it. So like out, you click merge layers, so it will merge into a new layer while still preserving your old ones, just in case. Okay, so now I lock the opacity of the new merge layer. I take the soft brush, change the mode to color dodge, and with the skin tone, I just gently go over areas that I want some additional light. Usually it's like the hair or the top of the clothes or stuff like that. And yeah, after that, I'm done. That's all. Easy. So I'll explain how to export the chapter into Webtoon friendly image sizes. So after you save the file as like a PNG or something, you open the image file up, go to image, image size and change the width to 800, which is the Webtoon specified width. Make sure the aspect ratio is locked so that it scales nicely. Then at the crop tool at the side, you hold it and change it to the slice select tool. Click the image and then you can see the divide button at the top will activate, and you click on it and then you enter 1280 pixels per slice at this one, the horizontal one. And again, this is the Webtoon specified height. So click OK and then you should see the image as being split into perfect 800 by 1280 pixel slices. You can see all your slices. Yeah. Now you go to File, Export, and Save for Web. Now make sure the extension is JPEG for all slices because I think the default is a GIF. Then click Save and make sure all slices is selected. Then yeah, just save it, and in your folder you will create like a new image folder and you'll see all your slices, which is the name of the file, the name that you specify, underscore the number, so it's all in the sequence. So this is all ready to be uploaded straight to Webtoon. And yep, that's the entire process for making a chapter for myself lah. So this Webtoon strip that I showed was just actually half a chapter. I like to split them into at least 2 parts so the file doesn't get too big, because it can make the computer a bit laggy. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, comment below and I'll try to answer them. And leave a like if this helped you or was interesting or whatever. Yeah. Until next time.